This video is all about how to build up a good, clean social media profile and leverage it in order to get either a job or just generally further in life.
If you're in a running for a really great job and they don't know which applicant is the better one, your social media presence will make the difference. Here are a couple of things that you should look out to have or not to have. So the first of the things is to work with Social Blade or Hype Auditor or other platforms that check your social media presence, and also if it's authentic, if it's real, if you have fake followers or not fake followers. You will see that on Social Blade, for example. We use Social Blade quite a bit. Here are a couple of things that you shouldn't do.
Because the first most important rule with social media is it needs to be authentic. And now, of course, that's very difficult because when you start out off on social media, no matter what it is, if it's IG, YouTube, whatever, then you always feel silly at first with like very few subs or followers or whatever. And then, especially on IG, we got a lot of emails from companies that would promise us organic growth.
Or apps.
Or apps, and they would do stuff which would then pump our followers, but these weren't actually authentic followers. And the truth is, in the long term, that's actually really hurting your social media because it means that the fake followers don't give you any attention. So you're not actually going to organically grow, which is a huge problem.
So the first, what you really should be aware of, especially on IG, don't be a mass follower. Everybody who is following more than 1,500 people counts as a mass follower. Imagine you have 1,500 Facebook fans. You cannot engage with all of them daily. That's not possible. And sometimes these profiles, they even have a high engagement rate, and this cannot be. You don't have that much time a day to engage with 1,500 or even more people. So you should look for maybe 300-400 people that you follow, but you really follow them, you want to engage with them, you find them interesting. Stay away from being a mass follower, or also to have too many mass followers on your following list, the people that follow you, because this is also not really great because on Social Blade, for example, they look at your followers and who is following you, and if you have a lot of mass followers, it's not good for your rating at all.
The reason why you want to avoid having mass follows or doing follow for follow kind of deals with people is because your audience needs to resonate with your content, right? So if you get people to agree to follow your Instagram account and they like do it as a favor, or they do it because they just follow everyone or whatever, you post something on Instagram, they won't respond to it because they're either not going to see it because they're following so many, or like they're just doing you a favor and they don't actually care about your content. And if they don't react to it, then that's like a negative point against your content for Instagram.
And something that we did not know in the beginning, and we also made a mistake. We had a whole giveaway in the beginning of our YouTube channel, and then we read actually into this whole subject. We got our information and giveaways. You can do them maybe once or twice a year, but you should not do them constantly. You should not do them weekly or even daily, because then you just get people who want to win this particular prize, but maybe are not that interested in your persona or your social content.
Then there's the whole follow-unfollow strategy where people go around following a lot of profiles, making comments so that they get followed back, and then they go back in and unfollow. And that's also a really terrible idea because it's not really going to get you anywhere. You can see on websites like Social Blade how many people have been unfollowed and stuff like that. And you can see from the numbers that someone's actually just been sitting there and doing the work rather than it just being organically grown.
A big sign for being a fake on social media, especially on IG, is if you have maybe, I don't know, around 10,000 followers, but since months you're not gaining one follower and you're just losing. That just means that you stopped with whatever you used before with the app or the other company, that you paid for that or whatever. And normal growth is always going up slowly. Like at the moment, I think we gain around 10, 20 people on IG. That's for us. It's really okay. We're not very active. We don't have a fantastic engagement rate. I think we have around 2% engagement rate, and a too high engagement rate, like 30-40%, is also fishy. You know, be aware about that. And also, if you have collabs or you want to work with other people on social media, always check their social media account or authenticity on Social Blade or Hype Auditor, something like that, because it's also not good for you if you work together with people who faked it.
Okay, so that was mainly about what life is like on IG. On YouTube, we've noticed that a lot of people have like loads of subs but barely have any videos, and those videos they have like 11 views or something like that. So again, obviously they've bought the subs because they think it looks better, but in the long run, it doesn't really help them, because the truth is with YouTube, it doesn't really matter how many subs you have. It matters how many views your videos get. It matters what the click-through rate is, what the watch time is, these kind of factors, and simply the amount of subs you have, while it may look nice, it's not as important as it might seem.
And especially on YouTube, we made the experience that you need to go through the grind. Yeah. It's a grind. It's sometimes really tough, and especially in the beginning, when you don't have an audience, and you talk to yourself, and you know nobody's there, and it gets much more easier. It gets much easier with time when you actually have your community and people that comment and help you and give you feedback, what they like and what they don't like, and stuff like that. We are always so grateful and happy when we get feedback and comments, even if they are not positive. It's fantastic because it helps our journey also to get bigger and better as a content creator. So don't be afraid of being really small in the beginning, maybe even for a whole year or two. I think we needed some time in the beginning as well to figure stuff out. And also you want to get comfortable in front of the camera. And actually it's not that bad to not have too many people watching you in the beginning, because in our case, we were very happy that not many people saw our first videos.
Because we totally sucked. And always remember, sucking at something is the first step to being really good at it, right? So you have to go through that awkwardness, and that's pretty much across the board for all social medias. You do hear fantastic stories of people uploading one video and getting 1 million subs from it and stuff, and yes, that does happen, but it's
the exception more.
It's much more the exception. The usual thing is you start your channel, you have a real grind where you're just pumping out videos and you're trying to find your content and you're trying to get comfortable in front of the camera, and all these other things come together. And then after a while, you start hitting a certain amount of growth, and that can always be accelerated and whatever. But at the beginning, you have to be small, you have to be humble, you have to just go through it.
To come back to the application, of course, when you use your social media as a CV, a digital CV, it's really important that you have also the numbers. That means that you're doing it quite some time already. If you just open up your YouTube channel and you maybe have 20 subs and you want to use that as a CV, it doesn't look that great. Also, if you want to sell any product or whatever, it doesn't work if you don't have the followership. So be patient in the beginning, take your time, and then I think everything from 1,000 subs you can show as well to other companies. But I think till 5,000 subs you count as a micro influencer, and technically we are micro influencers still, because we have now 4,000 something, and we're also under 5,000 subs, and we're doing this now consistently for at least a year. We tried out a few things, and we started in 2017, even in 2016 with a cooking channel that we deleted and everything. So that was a huge learning curve for us. But we do it consistently and we take it seriously since a year now, and we're really happy with this result, and we want to continue, of course.
And I'm sure everyone's heard of how actors might have gotten a certain part in a movie or something like that because their social media following was stronger than other actors, and that's like the extreme case of how it all started. Now that same
Justin Bieber,
Justin Bieber got big on YouTube. Yeah. That's not really what I'm talking about, but yeah. No, but that's all how it started, right? It used to just be the actors and the musicians, where if someone was being cast for a role, it's like, well, they've got a few 100,000 followers on thing. I know that if I cast them, then I will get those views, right? Those few hundred thousand. This has now expanded a little more into all other industries, and even though it might not be as present as what it will be, it is something that in future will be much more important. So especially if you're young, it really is worth figuring out what kind of industry you want to work in, and then make a social media profile that kind of leans into that industry, even if you have no experience in it. I mean, it can still just be an interesting on that, whatever that topic is. I can't think of an example, but I think you know what we're talking about.
And another mistake that we made in the beginning was we shared the same content everywhere, on IG, on Facebook, on TikTok was not there yet, for us at least, and on YouTube. Like, we wanted to share the same content everywhere, but we know now that this is not very clever. You want to have the content for YouTube on YouTube in the right format. These can be longer videos with B-roll, with other stuff. And there's, for example, Sean Connell on YouTube, who shows you all the technical details with tags and hashtags and whatever. And then there is TikTok, what is just very short videos, very entertaining. It's also different, and the format is different. And on IG, it's also a different story. It's not these short entertaining videos. You can share more info. You can announce videos. You share more personal info maybe, or travel pictures or whatever. But all social media accounts are completely different to handle.
So, to sum up, the most important point is be authentic. Don't be fake, even though like now you can still kind of get away with it because not everyone's so clued in. That's going to change massively. And websites like Hype Auditor, Social Blade, and so on are going to be more and more important for people as a resource, that if you try and sell your services through your Instagram account or whatever, they will be able to check up on you and say, no, hang on a minute, that's not an authentic profile. There's no actual value there.
Just that you know, we did not know that before as well, that other companies check you. It happened to us in Amsterdam. We wanted to work together with a boat service and said, look, we can put the content on YouTube. And we were much smaller on YouTube and on IG. And this guy wrote back, yeah, but I checked you on, I think it was Hype Auditor, and your engagement is not great for us, so this won't work. So this was our first experience with a company who actually checked us on Social Blade or something like that. And since then, we are very, very aware of that, and also look weekly if we improved and what we can do better.
Use those websites to measure the heartbeat of whatever the social media account you're working on,
and we don't get any money for mentioning them. It's just what else.
Unless if they're watching and you want to send us money. Awesome. So we hope we've helped you a little with this video. We do have a lot of thoughts about social media and stuff like that. We do think it's very important to start now, if you haven't already, to give yourself some kind of profile, to give yourself a bit of an advantage when looking for a job or any other kind of career or whatever. Yeah, with the negative comments, I mean, when we started out on YouTube specifically, we'd get like one negative comment would completely destroy us, and we think, oh no, how terrible. And then we'd really worry that what this person had said would really apply to our video, and it was really obvious, and oh no, what have we done and stuff like that. But then you get more and more, you get a lot of positive comments, you get a few negative ones, you get more and more negative ones, and you realize that some of them like completely contradict each other. I mean, our first video where we're talking about how to move to Amsterdam, there's people who say that I always cut Ella off, there's people who say that Ella always cuts me off, right? And it's really just it's them, it's how they've chosen to perceive our video. So you definitely learn to not take any notice of the negative criticism, unless it is of course something that you could change or whatever. But very often it's just people letting out their own frustrations on you.
And I can see how some people perceived it that way, that he cut me off, because my English was not fantastic. It's still not. I know I'm working on it, because my English was a little bit weird, and sometimes you would not understand what I meant. I cut that, I edit that, you know, and then maybe it looked a little bit like that, I don't know. But we had a good atmosphere behind the camera, we had fun, that counts. And yeah, so I think we got a little bit better with time, and I hope my English got much better, because it was a disaster in the beginning. But hey, you know, Learning is fun.
We hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and why not subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Also follow us on other social media like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Patreon. I do the coffee shops on Patreon, and we will see you in our next video then. But until next time,
Ciao, scenes.
doei.